Hi, welcome back. Welcome to Insect Systematics lecture series. We were discussing the general characters of orders and economically important families. So in this lecture number 16, I'll be dealing with order Hymenoptera, which includes wasps, bees, ants. Our bees are bad. Why this fellow is running away from the beehive? Unless you disturb them, they will not become aggressive and they don't attack you. At the end of this class, you should be able to understand that bees are good. They should be best utilized for the human well-being. Okay. Yeah. So this is where we are now. So under the subdivision Oligonioptera, we are discussing the order Hymenoptera. So which are nothing but the insects with complete metamorphosis. Okay, 4 stages, endoterigotum insects. So order Hymenoptera, which commonly includes sawflies, wasps, bees, ants. Etymologically, the word hymen is derived from Greek word meaning membranous or god of marriages. Of course, they have both the pairs of wings which are membranous. So what is the meaning of this god of marriages? Okay, so what happens? These both the forewings and hindwings, okay, they work together. So there is a wing coupling mechanism. So as a result of that, okay, both the forewings and hindwings works together. So this coupling mechanism, that's a mechanism which holds the both the forewings and hindwings together, so that okay, the efficiency of the flight increases. Okay, so what is that structure? The structure is actually called emuli or emulate. Okay, so those structure actually hold the both the forewings and hindwings together. As a result, they work together. Okay, so yes, like the husband and wife will be together all the time. Okay, so both the forewings and hindwings work together in order to increase the efficiency of the flight. So that's why this order actually got this name Hymenoptera. Okay, the characters of Hymenoptera includes mouth parts are primarily adapted for biting or chewing. Okay, you might have got a bite from a ant or a wasp. Okay, that means they have got a biting and chewing type of mouth parts. However, in some of the advanced group, okay, like honeybees, where the mouth parts are modified for chewing and lapping. Okay, chewing the pollen and lapping the nectar, of course. So both the pairs of wings are membranous. Okay, hind wings are smaller than the forewings usually. However, they have got a wing coupling mechanism. So wing coupling is by emulate. So what happens here? The coastal margin of the hind wing have got a hook-like structure. Okay, hook-like structure which holds the anal margin of the forewing. As a result, this coupling occurs. They work together. So some of the insects group, actually, some of the families possess Apterus group, like ants, for example. So very interesting biology. So try to read more about the biology or the life history of these hymenopterans. So the other characters includes abdomen basally constricted and its first segment fused with metathorax to form propodium. So that means the first abdominal segment is usually fixed with metathorax. Okay, fixed with metathorax, and that first abdominal segment which is not visible, which is actually fixed with or fused with the metathorax, is called propodium. Okay, this is the segment in fact. Whereas the second segment is usually thread-like, which is called petiole, second segment. Okay, and the remaining abdominal segment is called gaster. Okay, the first is called propodium, the second segment is called petiole, and the remaining abdominal segments are called gaster. However, little more modification we do find wherein some of the abdominal segments are node-like, like in case of ants, wasps. Okay, we'll study those things. So in higher families, we'll find the ovipositor, which is modified for stinging purpose. They have got a biting type of mouthparts, of course, but they do sting. Okay, in case of bees and wasps, especially. Therein, the ovipositor is actually modified for stinging purpose. Okay, so very advanced structures they have got in order to defend the colony. That is the very important character, of course. So we have both solitary and social insects in the Hymenoptera. Okay, so very interesting biology, wherein sex determination is aplodiploidy, wherein the males are applied, females are diploid. Okay, so usually there will be a caste system. In case of few of the insect groups like bees, their worker, drone, and queen will be there. So several thousands of workers, which are usually the sterile females. Drone, fertile male. Queen is fertile female. Okay, so aplodiploid hypothesis, why actually these bees actually developed this type of very different life history. there is a lot of literature available. Try to read further and learn about bees. So larvae are generally apodous. They are grubs. Okay, they do not possess legs. However, in some groups called Tenthridae, they are called sawflies. So we have a two suborder. In one of the suborder, we'll find the legs both in thorax and as well as abdomen. So Eruciform means both thoracic legs and abdominal legs are very well developed. So abdominal legs are called pseudolegs or prolegs. We know that. So those prolegs, they don't have crotchets. So that means Eruciform type or polypodous type. So is like Leptopteron caterpillar-like. Okay. So wherein both will find the thoracic and abdominal legs. So here in this case, in Hymenopteron Eruciform larvae, we will not find the crotchets. We will find the prolegs, but they do not find the crotchets. So that is the difference between the grub of an Hymenoptera or a caterpillar of Leptoptera. However, in many groups, we'll find the apodous larvae or grubs in case of Hymenoptera. Coming to economic importance, so Hymenoptera includes a lot of beneficial insects. So many of them are actually parasitic. That means they are actually parasitoids which kill the host. It may be egg parasitoid, which may be larval parasitoid, or it may be a pupal parasitoid, which kill that at that particular stage. However, many of them are phytophagous. And many of them are, few of them especially called Xylocopa. There is a bees close relative which actually acts as domestic pest by boring through the bamboos and other woods. So, however, we know that bee produce honey which has been well utilized as a medicinal. It also has got medicinal value, nutritional value. It has got very importance in commerce as well. So this is one of the important group well studied and well exploited for the human benefit. So coming to classification, there are two suborders, Symphyta and Apocrita. So Symphyta includes sawflies, whereas Apocrita includes bees, wasps, ants. So how do you differentiate these two suborders? So here in this case, abdomen is broadly joined to thorax. Okay, like a moth or butterfly. So I was telling that propodium, petiole, gaster, and all those things. However, in this Symphyta, so abdomen is broadly joined to thorax. Say for example, this thorax, abdomen is broadly joined to thorax. Whereas in case of Apocrita, okay, abdomen is petiolated. So you'll find the gaster then. Okay, ovipositor is saw-like, suited for piercing the plant tissues. So that's why they are called sawflies. Okay, they are saw-like. Whereas here in case ovipositor is not saw-like, which is suited for piercing in case of parasitic group. Remember, it is parasitizing the eggs or larvae or the pupae. It has to insert its ovipositor and deposit its eggs inside the caterpillar or larvae of other insect group. However, in some of the advanced group, this ovipositor is modified for stinging purpose, like bees. So trochanter is always two-segmented. Okay, coxa, trochanter, femur, tibia, tarsi. So we know that tarsomeres, there will be more number of segments in tarsi. But here in this group, trochanter is two-segmented. Apocrita, trochanter is one or two segmented. Unsegmented or two-segmented. Larvae is caterpillar-like, Eruciform. Here, the larva is apodous. That is the easiest difference. So if it is caterpillar-like, it should possess the stemmata. Okay, visual organ of volometabolous insect. This we have studied in case of sensory organs, remember. Whereas here, stemmata are absent. Okay, so I'll try to show those characters, what we discussed. Abdomen is broadly joined to thorax. So you see here, it looks like a moth or a butterfly. Abdomen is broadly joined to thorax and it possesses those saw-like ovipositor in order to lay the eggs between the leaf tissues, and trochanter is two-segmented. Okay, whereas here, abdomen is petiolated. You can see here, thread-like. So ovipositor is not saw-like. Okay, it is for piercing the tissues or say parasitic or stinging. Or trochanter is one or two segmented. So both the condition will find. So that is the difference. Okay, so larva is caterpillar-like. You can see thoracic legs as well as abdominal legs. But the difference between the caterpillars, leptopteran larvae, is that they do not possess. So here we do not possess that crotchets. So crotchets are useful in order to hold the substratum while crawling. Okay, so that means, so usually these Symphyton hymenopterans do not have the ability to crawl much. Okay, so because they lack these crotchets. However, the grubs of Apocrita are apodous. They do not possess either thoracic legs or abdominal legs. So abdominal legs are pseudolegs, also called prolegs. So stemmata are present. Okay, stemmata are absent. Okay, stomata are the sole visual organs, which are also called lateral ocelli, are absent. Coming to economically important families. So as we know that there are two suborders, Symphyta. There is only one order which we are studying, 10-threadinidae. They are commonly called sawflies. Then Apocrita. So there are a number of families. It's a comparatively bigger suborder, which includes, listen to my pronunciation, Ichneumonidae, Braconidae, Chalcididae, Trichogrammatidae, Yavanidae, Bethyllidae, Formicidae, Vespidae, Spacidae, Megachilidae, Epidae. Okay, it will be very easy if you definitely repeat the pronunciation and start seeing those insects. I'm sure that many of these insects you have already seen. So that's how it becomes very easy. So coming to the first family, 10-threadinidae, they are called sawflies. So you can see here, they look like wasp or moth, a butterfly, of course. Okay, look like a moth peculiarly, with a abdomen is broadly attached to thorax. Okay, abdomen is broadly attached to thorax. So, and ovipositor is saw-like. Okay, so larvae are eruciform with prolegs, but there will not be any crochets. So however, you'll find up to 8 pairs of prolegs, but without crochets. Okay, so usually when you disturb them, so usually this type of larvae are found in cruciferous crabs. If you disturb them, they'll actually fall down on the cliff, bend their body like this, because they lack these crochets in order to run away and escape. So the common species is Athalia lugens proxima, trinomial nomenclature, which is called mustard sawfly. Okay, now belongs to this family, 10-threadinidae. So the next family is Ichneumonidae. Try to listen pronunciation and try to write correct spelling. They are commonly called ichneumoniid wasps. Okay, they are small, stout-bodied, dull-colored wasps. Okay, usually. Antennae are filiform, very long, with up to 16 or more segments. You can see here. 2 recurrent veins. Okay, so with a cell structure is formed in such a way that if you see, it looks like horse head. You can see, just imagine this portion. It looks like horse head, right? It's a comparative character with other family called Braconidae. I will show those characters. Trochanter is 2-segmented. In fact, this family, above this, there is a super family which is called Ichneumonidae. Ichneumonidae. If I say idea, it is actually super family, wherein you will find 2-segmented trochanter. Okay, so abdomen is long and laterally compressed. You find this, okay, laterally compressed body in this picture is here. Okay, ovipositor is either long or longer than the body. You can see here, in case of females, you find this very long ovipositor. So ovipositor is so strong that it can insert its ovipositor inside a caterpillar. Okay, a leptopteran caterpillar, a larvae, and lays the eggs inside that caterpillar. Or sometimes the larva or a caterpillar or a grub of a coleopteran may be feeding inside a wood. Okay, a forest tree, for example. Adult can sense and insert its ovipositor inside and deposit its eggs inside that caterpillar or a grub so that it gets parasitized. Its progeny get the food immediately. That's how this evolutionary mechanism leading to this type of very long ovipositor. Okay, very peculiar. So usually they are parasitic on immature stages of other insects. Okay, common species includes Xanthopimpla punctata, Campolitis chloridae. They are parasitic on one of the worst pests of world. Okay, worst cosmopolitan pest, which is called Helicoverpa parmigera. Okay, very serious pest, attacks more than 150 hosts. Okay, so we'll study that its family and characters in order Lepidoptera. Okay, that's about the Ichneumonidae. So remember this horse-head character. So next family called Braconidae. Okay, they are commonly called Braconid wasps. So they are also small, stout-bodied, but dark or dull-colored. So here also trochanter is 2-segmented because they are both of them, Ichneumonidae and Braconidae, belongs to same superfamily called Ichneumonidae. So however, how do you differentiate it from Ichneumonidae is that there are one or no recurrent vine. You can see here one recurrent vine. There it is actually 2 recurrent vine. As a result, that in the previous case, it was like a R-shaped structure was formed, but here no such R-shaped structure is formed. That's how we can differentiate these two families. So these are also parasitic on immature stages. Like this, you might have seen here. You can see the grubs have come out, pupated with a cocoon, silky structure grown outside, and the adult is coming out. So adult lays the eggs inside the caterpillar. The larvae or the grubs survive by feeding on the internal content of that caterpillar. Caterpillar will die. Okay, but adults, by that time, the adults of these braconids come out and search for the egg lay on particular host. Okay, Bracon brevicornis, Bracon abater, which is a larval parasitides of various lepidopteran insects. Chilonus blackburni, which actually parasitize both egg, no, in case of egg, it's called egg larval parasitide of cotton bollworm. Okay, so how do you differentiate Ichneumonidae and Braconidae? Two recurrent vine. As a result, Ars head shell is formed. You can see here Ars head shell is formed. Here, one or no recurrent vine. Okay, no such hard Ars head cell is formed. Abdomen is long and usually laterally compressed. Here, abdomen is short, not compressed. So ovipositor is either longer than the body, usually permanently extruded. Here, ovipositor is short. So that's how we can differentiate these two families. Very easy if you remember these comparative characters. Remember there is recurrent vine 2, Ichneumonidae, 1 or no Braconidae. That's how you try to remember the family level characters. Next family, Chalcididae. So some of you may pronounce it as Chalcididae. Okay, Chalcididae, Chalcididae. However, now you need to correctly write the spellings. Okay, Chalcid wasps, small metallic wasps, black or yellow. But okay, they are actually not metallic wasps. So hind femur swollen. Okay, you can see here, hind femur is very well developed with a rows of teeth. I think in this photograph it is very clear. Okay, there will be teeth-like structure. So hind coxae is large, in fact. Hind coxae, forecoxae, midcoxae, hind coxae. So there are also parasitoids of Lepidoptera, Diptera, and Coleoptera. Okay, Brachymeria nepenthes, which is a parasitic on pupae of coconut black-headed caterpillar. So there is a serious pest of coconut which is called black-headed caterpillar. Okay, on that it parasitizes, thereby it is actually a beneficial insect. Okay, so most of these parasitic wasps are very beneficial. They have been exploited in biological control. Next family called Trichogrammatidae. They are called trichogrammatids. They are very small, okay, very minute. You can see 0.18 mm to 0.25 mm, a good competitor for the world's smallest insect. They are exclusive egg parasitides. You can see, so Lepidopteran eggs are usually eggs of any insects are very small. So they are parasitized by these small insects. So that's why naturally it should be small. The characters includes tarsi 3-segmented, okay, tarsi 3-segmented, and very important character is setae on wings arranged in rows. You can see here. Okay, setae will be arranged in rows. Okay, so you can see here there will be hairs in the hind wings also. Okay, they are setae. So these group of insects are widely used in biological control as insect egg parasitides. Okay, so they are mass multiplied in various organizations, and they'll be provided to farmers in order to manage the serious pests of our crops like Trichogramma chilonis, Trichogramma japonicum. So they are usually egg parasitides of Lepidoptera. So moths and butterfly eggs. Next family, Yamanidae, they're called ensign wasps. Okay, so black or red spider-like insects with 10 to 25 mm long. So probably you might have seen this type of insects wherein the gaster, abdomen is actually moving like this. When the insect is actually sitting there somewhere, resting there, the abdomen will be moving like this. So especially in bathrooms and toilets, usually you find this because where the cockroaches are common. So the cockroaches actually looks for cracks and crevices in order to lay the eggs, ootheca. Okay, so what these adults will do, Yamanid adults will do, it look for eggs of these cockroaches in order to parasitize. So they lay the eggs inside these ootheca. Okay, so that the grubs of these Yamanids feed on the internal content of the eggs and survive. Okay, so the character is abdomen is small, you can see here very small, arising from dorsal aspect of thorax. You can see here thorax is arising from the dorsal region of the thorax. Okay, and carried like a flag. It will be moving like this, in fact. Okay, so very characteristic structure. They are parasitic on cockroach ootheca and are commonly found in bathrooms and houses. Okay, Yavania appendigaster. Okay, appendiculate, like a stalk-like structure with a gaster. Okay, that's how it has got the scientific name. Next family called Bethelidae. They are commonly called Bethelids. Small to medium-sized black wasps. Head somewhat elongated. You can see here, head is comparatively long compared to its other body structures. Antennae is 12 to 13 segmented, slightly elbowed, like slightly geniculate. Hind wing with a jugal lobe. Okay, venation is much reduced. We can see not much venation in the wings. So they are also parasitic on larval Lepidoptera and other insects. Why I am dealing with this family is that there is an insect called Goniopus nepenthes, which parasitize the larvae of coconut black-headed caterpillar. Okay, coconut black-headed caterpillar is a very serious pest in southern India. So which was well exploited. This insect is well exploited in order to, to mass multiply and release in the farmer's field, so that it manages that coconut blackhead caterpillar. That one belongs to this family, Bethilidae. So that's why you should know this family name, Bethilidae. So next family, Formicidae, they're commonly called ants. Who has not seen the ants? Okay, so in fact, you might have not heard this name Formicidae, of course, but you might have heard the name called formic acid, which has got a lot of medicinal and other values. So here the characters includes first and second abdominal segment are node-like, you can see here. Okay, so there will be a swollen first, second abdominal segment, umpar node-like structure. So very characteristic of Formicidae. Both winged and wingless forms are present. Okay, so antennae is elbowed or geniculate, very characteristic. So this is a large, dominant, and extremely diverse family of social insects. Okay, so probably in first class, in case of dominance of insects, I spoke about the ants. Okay, in a single nest of ant contain millions of insects. Of course, if you give ants to individual human being, I may get thousands of ants. Okay, that way number of ants are living on this planet Earth. So these are social insects with usually 3 casts, queen, males, and workers. So workers actually maintain the colony, bring the food. They are usually sterile females. So however, in some species, in advanced groups, soldiers also found, like in case of termites. Okay, they are also social insects. So they, in order to defend the colony. Common ant species which we have seen is Echophila smaragdina, red ant, Componentus compressus, carpenter ant, Monomoreum indicum, small black ant, very common, crawling on the surface. So yeah, highly diversified group. Lot of research is being done in different parts of the world. So read more about ants. Okay. Next family, Vespidae. They are commonly called paper wasps, yellow jackets, hornets, potter wasps, mason wasps. Okay, I think you know about wasps because the name itself is actually a fiery thing, because usually so they sting and so probably people have encountered the death after stung by the number of wasps. However, many of them are beneficial because they do feed on some of the caterpillar pests and thereby then control the insect population in our fields. So there are both social and solitary wasps will be there. The posterior margin of the pronotum is strongly U-shaped. I will show that character. In fact, it is a comparative character with another family called Spacidae. Okay, so here inner margin of eyes are notched. Okay, so like a emarginated eyes because of the antennal insertion. You'll find that emarginated eyes. I will show that character. First discoidal cell in the forewing is very long, or as long as the almost a wing. Okay, that much long discoidal cell will be present. I will show those characters. So usually they are warningly banded with yellow or red or a black or brown coloration. Okay, so probably you'll easily identify that this is a wasp because of this yellow coloration on the abdominal part. So they construct various nests. Based on that, they are usually called paper wasps, potter wasps, mason wasps, like that. So common species includes Vespa tropica, Propalidia marginata. So they are in fact beneficial. So then there is a family called Spacidae. So they are called sand wasps, mud daubers, thread-waisted wasps. Okay, thread-waisted wasps. No, I think why they are called thread-waisted wasps. Okay, like this. They can be distinguished from other wasps by the structure of pronotum. So what is that I was telling in case of Vespidae, there will be U-shaped structure. Whereas here in this case, in case of Spacidae, you'll find this dorsal view of posterior margin of the pronotum. This is the pronotum, there is a constriction. Okay, so based on this constriction, you can say that this is Spacidae. And if there are no constriction, but it is actually U-shaped structure, then it will become Vespidae. Remember these two comparative characters, so you can identify these two families. So inner margin of eyes are not notched, like in case of Vespidae. So usually not all species you find this waist-like. Okay, waist is thread-like. Petiolated, long thread-like structure. So remaining part is gassed up. So usually all are predatory type. Prey ranges from spiders to various cockroaches, grasshoppers, larvae of Lepidoptera and other Hymenoptera. Okay, so they are beneficial. Yeah. So how do you differentiate this Vespidae and Spacidae? Okay, you can see here this posterior margin of pronotum is actually U-shaped. Can you see this? Yeah. But here there will be a constriction. Okay. So inner margin of eyes are notched. You can see here? Yes. So no such notch or margination in the case of forewings. In case of eyes. So that's how you can differentiate both Vespidae and Spacidae. So then there is a family Megachilidae. They are called leaf cutter bees. They are stout-bodied. Okay, females carry the pollen by means of scopa. Scopa are actually the airy structure found in the ventral side of the abdomen. You can see here. So in this region, they carry the pollen. Unlike bees, there will be a specialized structure in case of bees. Okay, here the different structures are involved in order to carry the pollen. And the other difference, they are actually confused with bees. That's why we should know the comparative characters. Two marginal cells in the forewings, you can see here. These are the cells. They are called submarginal cells below the postal region. So two submarginal cells. The other structure is labrum is longer than the broad. You can see this is the labrum, which is longer than the broad. Longer than the broad. Okay, so that is the character of Megachilidae. They usually cut circular bits of leaves, place in actually tubular nuts. So usually those leaf, the cut portion is usually lined in the nest. So this is how they carry, and that's how they access pests, especially in a few of the crops like rose. Megachile anthracina, Megachile distincta, common species under the Megachilidae. You can easily remember Megachile genus name. So the next family is Apidae. Okay, so of course one of the widely known family. Now a lot of research is actually done, and probably we have studied about the antenna type, the legs, modification legs, okay, and all those things in previous classes. Honeybees, especially I'm remembering the bee dance. Okay, that's what we studied. Honeybees, carpenter bees, stingless bees, bumblebees. So Apidae means not only it includes only honeybees, it includes other bees as well. So again, there will be solitary and eusocial groups are there. Front wing with 3 submarginal cells. Here you see there is a comparative character with the previous family Megachilidae. So there 2 submarginal cells. Here 3 submarginal cells. Here labrum is broader than the lung. Okay. So very important as pollinators of many agriculture crops. So in one of the class I was telling that no bees, no humans. Okay, because there is no crop. Okay. Apis cerana, Apis mellifera, Apis dorsata, Xylocopa, like that there are a number of subfamilies are there because it is actually an highly diversified group. Xylocopinae, subfamily, subfamily, right? Carpenter bees. Epinae, honeybees, bumblebees, very useful. Melliponae, they are called stingless bees. They don't stink. Okay, they do actually produce honey. Anthoporinae, they are called digger bees. Nomadinae, they are called cuckoo bees. Okay, so how do you differentiate Megachilidae and Apidae? 2 submarginal cells. Labrum is broader than the lung. So fronting with 3 submarginal cells, whereas labrum is broader than the lung. Okay, that's how you can differentiate Megachilidae and Apidae. Okay, so in fact, bees thrive hard to make honey, right? So they struggle in order to make a nest. There will be caste system in order to go out and find the food. They have to struggle encounter all the environmental problems. They have to search the flowers, bring back the pollen, okay, secrete the nectar, and that has to produce modified as honey. And what human beings will do? Usually steal the honey. Okay, of course, in doing so, by pollinating our crops, in fact, they are found to be very beneficial insects. So as I was telling that, no honeybees, no human life. So one of the known quote is that if the bees become extinct now, by another 50 years, all the organisms on this planet Earth will vanish. Whereas human beings, if today all the human beings get vanished on this planet Earth, by another 50 years, all the organisms which were actually maybe extinct or maybe all the other organisms actually flourish. So that is the importance of honeybees, of course. So bee life itself is a lesson to human beings. So that's why in the first slide I was telling that you should not run away from the bees. They are actually good. Yeah. So how do you collect and preserve the hymenopterans? So you can use, like any other insect groups, you can use the insect nets, sweep nets. So for some of the sedentary insects, you can also go for ant collection, not for stinging insects, biting insects. Careful when you are collecting, especially. You can also use aspirator for smallest wasps like parasitoids. So one of the important trap called Malai's trap can be used. So the good flying insects, flying hymenopterans can be collected with Malai's trap. Okay, they're extremely effective. So where do you pin it? Once you kill it, okay, it has to be pinned through the pronotum in the right side of the pronotum. So smaller wasps, hymenopterans can be paper pointed as well at 1/3 height of the insect pin with help of paper point, and it has to be labeled. Okay, whereas many of the insects, okay, so many of the parasitoids can be best preserved in 70% alcohol. Okay, and it will be used in taxonomic identification, and then it has to be preserved in unit trays or the cabinet boxes the way you want. So some questions with visuals. So what are the two types of dances the honeybees make? We know that Karl van Frisch, who got the Nobel Award and all those things which we have studied in the previous class. So at what distance when they get the food, what are the type of dances it performs? Okay. Next question is trochanter is two segmented. In which are the families or superfamily we find this character? What is diploid in Hymenoptera? I gave a little clue, but no, go further and understand the genetics behind this Hymenopteran sex determination system. So how do you differentiate the caterpillar of Lepidoptera and grub of Symphyton Hymenoptera? Okay, so in case of sawflies, we'll find the Eruciparum or Polypodus type of larva. What is the difference? Okay, so one of the biggest group, approximately 1,53,517 species have been described so far on this planet Earth. Okay, and in India, 12,605 species. Okay, so now I think you will agree with me that you should not, or you need not to run away from the bees. Okay, they should be best utilized. Okay, without harming them by spraying a lot of insecticides and other things. We should be live with the nature. We should be best exploit those bees, utilize those bees for the benefit of mankind. Okay, thank you. So now I think you believe that, you agree that bees are good. Okay, so thank you very much. If there are any questions, you can post below or you can email me as well. So thank you very much.